Alright, y'all, what's good? I'm streaming a little bit, get some few things off my hands, and really analyze a few things from a standpoint. So, I know a lot of stuff is closing down. And that's what I kind of want to talk about today. Like, stuff like that, a lot of businesses and stuff are winding down. Like, family business, really doesn't matter what it is. Mom and pops are never going to come back. And there's some aspect, some degree, I feel like that's expected. I mean, everybody can't work. And stuff skips a generation. Like nobody wants to. Someone all they know is, for instance, what's a good family business? Like let's say someone did like a shoe business, something like that. Or furniture, or I say a vacuum machine. They do the tubes. You have one of them old school vacuum cleaners. They did something like that. They did a repair or something like that. Or let's say someone's a cobbler. They come from a great line of cobblers or something like that. The need for a cobbler is actually pretty. I find that interesting. Because shoes, good dress shoes, they definitely wear down over time. The heels, this, that, and the third. I feel like making a shoe is definitely a skill type of thing. Definitely skilled, the thread, this, that, and the third. All the stuff going into making a shoe. The leather, this, that, and the third. So, I don't know, man. And I think the funniest thing for me now to realize is, like, people talking about the need for a side hustle. Or, I was reading an article today, and it said people are taking 2 jobs, remote jobs, and doubling their money. And they'll say there's a connection issue and be on one meeting. To me, work and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like you need to be upfront about what you want. Like from a job, like you can ask a specific range. Let's say a job is like 50,000. You can ask for 53. It just depends. I would definitely ask for $53,000. But the average, wow, this person sucks. I know that a lot of stuff they're highlighting the wrong stuff, in my opinion. But I think it's sad in the sense that stuff is the way it is. Refugee crisis, this, that, and the third. But I'm still thinking about in terms of, like, we see on the news talking about Afghanistan. The thing is, that was never going to be a winning battle anyway. I hate to put it that way. That was never. You can defeat a thing, but you're not ever going to defeat the ideology. That's the biggest thing. So I think, in some aspects, people died essentially for nothing. Now I hate to say it like that, but in a sense, that's kind of what it comes down to. Like people 18 join the military, this, that, and the third, and then they're on the front lines and they die from combat. Losing limbs, it's ridiculous. Losing their life, and then look what happens. People can't even get their own stuff. The VA not taking care of them. This, that, and the third. That's crazy. But I think the people who suffer most is the people from the place. A lot of civilian lives lost on both sides of the stuff. So. The country, war torn, just, we still got stuff going on. But yeah, I definitely am praying in a sense for better days in a sense. But in any event, I don't know. A lot of stuff to me don't make sense. The thing is, at least what I believe in, I believe we don't have a final say in stuff. I can't do anything. In my opinion, I'm not God. Nobody's perfect. Nobody doing anything. But I can't, try to rule or do anything. That's why this how policies and stuff get started in terms of legislation oversteps the bounds of there's certain stuff. But I'm not surprised by a lot of stuff happening in terms of the pandemic. A lot of stuff's about money, and when you really just start to think about it, it's money the root of all evil. I would say more, pretty much, yeah. I would say that. Um, you think about just the course of stuff: wars, famine, this, that, and the third, disease. It's crazy. But again, I feel like in a lot of places, this, that, and the third in the world, you can't try to play, in a sense, the role of God in any type of way. How people choose to live their lives, this, that, and the third. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I definitely agree with someone said that certain stuff was going to be a losing battle. Anyway you look at it, you can't win a war or something like that when your enemy has no uniform or has an ideology. Same thing with Vietnam. Vietnam cost a lot of people their lives. That's in the third. And for what it's worth, I mean, yeah. The way I think about stuff and this, that, and the third. If someone's goal is to kill as many people as they can, this, that, and the third, I don't care what religion, just that, I'm not going to say the T word, but it don't really matter the religion. The person is the T word. It's inexcusable. Like, oh man. I think the world is really jacked up. But in terms of this, that, and the third, I really think a lot of stuff isn't going to change. We still dealing with the pandemic. We still got other issues. I know places and stuff are about to be accepting refugees, and to some extent, I feel I feel that's interesting. The language barrier. Now you're going to process people. I'm not racist. I'm not xenophobic or stuff like that, or nothing like that. But how are you going to process? I mean, in all honesty, there's other people from other places that come. The process for immigration is not well defined and stuff like that. You gotta have people with green cards, statuses, paperwork, and it's just a whole lot. I mean, the thing about United States that I like is we're open to I feel like everybody has a chance here to a certain extent. In the United States, you have some liberties and stuff that you don't have in other places. You can worship whoever you believe in, this, and the third. In other places, you can't do that. um, you have at least a chance to do something in terms of like your background. You can work your way to doing something if everything goes right. You have a good product, a good service, and stuff like that. Um, you have a lot of other stuff going on. That sounds like a horror movie. What the? What? Wow. That was annoying. The fact they get somebody your location and this, that, and the third, this game is. Bitcoin. I think a lot of stuff jacked up. I think it's crazy in a sense how you got places in the world right now, in a sense. And again, it goes without saying the whole process people, national origin, can't discriminate. I believe in that. There are good people and bad people everywhere, no matter what race, what religion, this and the third. Some people just flat out evil. That's just how it is. But in more ways than one, I feel like in a sense, the more you start to think about stuff, it's just like, wow. I feel like conflict in a way is just like, there's a lot of stuff even when you think about it. There's almost no way to describe it. I think foreign policy is bad, so that's just my opinion. I'm just still thinking about how many. I feel like, when I think the thing that's hurt the United States more so and costing people dearly is trying to be the world police for literally any and everything. Um, I feel like that's the biggest component. You can't be the world police for, conflicts and stuff like that. There's been a lot of conflicts this and the third, but I mean, it's just another day. I hate to say it, in the crazy life of what's going on in the world, I guess. For me, and other people, I guess, we're blessed enough to be sitting in a home or a place of security, not worried about bombs and stuff going off or this, that, and the third. Because other people, they don't have that reality. Like, they'll hear gunshots, they'll hear literally missiles and stuff dropping. They'll never get sleep. Or they got to worry about stuff rattling the buildings, this, that, and the third. I guess I would say it's the simple liberties in a sense that we kind of have that we kind of don't think about. But, yeah. I think in more ways than one, I don't know. Like, so instead, if the world ends, I feel like the world ends this and the third. I mean, it hasn't happened. So, I feel like nuclear weapons has definitely capability to end the world or this and the third. But, that's why it's bad in a sense. But I feel like it's kind of crazy to think that conflicts and stuff like that, and then, once again, ideologies, propaganda will lead, the chaos, this, that, and the third. But sometimes, it's just one of those things where, like a lot of people, they have to walk back statements, especially with this COVID stuff. You can't declare a victory on something when there's been in my state, it's like 1,500 cases a day or more. I don't even know the number, but in my thing, 1,500 cases a day in my area, well, in my county, I'll put it that way. And a hospital that I don't really go to, but I pass by the place pretty much all the time. Yeah, COVID outbreaks a lot. They got special parameters try to contain the stuff, but me, in my honest opinion, and then the people not being vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. I'm about to get my third shot here soon. But yeah, it's crazy to think that how doctors and these people are telling people this stuff. I mean, the thing about being a doctor or medical professional, you can't administer someone like a level of health thing. You take an oath. That's the biggest thing. You're not, faking. You're not doing any of this stuff. I mean, you take an oath to administer the best level of health care, no matter what the person's race, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, this, that, and the third, gender, or this, that, and the third. You gotta administer the the quality level of care, no matter, despite everything, differences, this, that, and the third. So I think in a way, a lot of stuff to me is just hypocrisy. In more ways than one. like people talking about the bars seem to be open again. I already stated my opinion with the bars. Like bars, it's a social hub, but like people already been doing stuff already before then. Like I don't like the bar scene. I don't like being around a lot of people. As is even before the pandemic. You could get a case of beers for like $10. You can watch the game at the price of your own home. That's how I'm thinking. So it really doesn't, have the same level of thing. If I'm, like the atmosphere. Like someone said that, like so a place loses its liquor license, right? And liquor license is like $50,000. I explain to somebody that's the death of the business because if your rent and stuff, half your rent is made in one night or a night alone, you're gonna be in a deficit. You're selling more booze than you are food products along with it. That's a compliment. It's time. So average bill of food or something may be like $27, but when you think about people getting their shots and stuff like that, of alcohol, liquor, this and the third, they're making their money. That's how the majority of the money is made. Mixed drinks that and stuff like mixed drinks be like $10 or $11. The majority of the time when they have happy hours like $5 or something like that, $5 to $6. That's incentivized butts getting in the seat, but also people are going to drink more than one drink, and then they're going to have appetizers, half price. They're still making money. Because I feel like the real scam comes in when people are just like, it is a lot of bartender tricks that people do. They put like, they basically douse the thing. They put it like a little thing. I don't know how to put it. It's like a little swab or something. They put it on the lip of the cup. There's alcohol on there, but there's no actual alcohol. It's like juice, and then the cocktail stuff, whatever or syrup, or grenadine, all that type of stuff. So I think in a way, happy hour and all these bars and stuff like that, they it serves no purpose. In my opinion, like if a bar went out of business, I hate that someone's business or something like that is going out of business. But how many bars do we need? And I feel like in another sense of certain stuff, like certain areas, um, what? He killed me with a burst. A burst. That was the bloom. That was 100% the bloom. But also, y'all, I did get my money and stuff like that, but I'm not spending it. Gotta save up. And again, in other related news, I try to get on the world news in a sense. But I'm not impressed with 2K. 2K is not getting my money after what I done seen and stuff like that. And they haven't done anything. They weren't getting my money before. They're definitely not getting it now. They're doing the ratings. I would say the ratings would be the first. There's no gameplay. No gameplay. They're not getting $107. I mean that. To think about how a game is so set up in a way to like, you're not seeing stuff, the breadcrumbing, and it is getting worse and progressively worse each year, and you're stuck fumbling. Like, you basically give them a bag without any type of thing in return. All you have to do is release some screenshots, nothing, or at least a blog about gameplay, this, that, and 30, and people pre-order it. Now, the thing is with the demo, I'm glad, like, the mistakes that I made in the last couple 2Ks is that I would buy a build $50. And the thing that I think is needed more so is a hands-on experience with the limited amount of runs that you can play on a build. Keep the My Player Builder in a sense, but also let us test these builds on an online mode so the meta, if the meta changes or this, that, and the third, we can make those changes and adjustments in the final product. And I admit that there's some type of stuff that's just not going to be in the demo. You're going to have to find out in the game. I'm still thinking about too, in terms of like me going to school, how I feel about that. I think school in a way here lately, what? That's bad. That's on me, but I still lagged and then had it said 26. You should have been bad. Direct Impact RPG, yeah. Something that I need to do is shot. Oh crap. That was my controller falling. One thing I need to do is shop, go and get some clothes. Um, but again, I don't have to spend any money on books, so I think that's a good thing. Um, One thing that I'm kind of looking forward to, or more or less, is I don't know. Games still don't have the same meaning to me now as they once did, because like once the game is released, you're literally stuck with the game that you have for pretty much until a next iteration or cycle. Like Fortnite is good for a while, but again, it's something easy to pick up and I don't have to do a lot. Alright. I'm still thinking about, PlayStation. They don't have that many releases. And that's my huge disappointment with the thing. The console is hyped, but it's good to have, but you're going to probably more than likely, you're going to get tired of the options. I didn't have the game since launch. So I've been here when they only had maybe 7 or so games. But if I'm completely honest, most of these games are single player games. I hate to break it to you. Most of the titles are single player games, and that's probably not going to change for a while. At the beginning of the year, most of the games were single player games. That's what the titles had. Single player games. And that's pretty much what PlayStation 5 is all about, single player games. Multiplayer, you might have some of that, but the multiplayer functions, they don't necessarily work. And I was saying about that, crossplay is not fully functional for some of these games. It may have issues. I'm still thinking about when the thing that my mom was concerned about most was like the draft thing. Because once you turn 18, you have to sign a thing that says you did selective service. That's basically where it's like a time of war or something like that. They have a lottery system, and it can vary on anything. Your name could be selected. That's what they did for Vietnam. So that was the last time they used it. And because the public outcry, this, that, and the third, they had to change that. What's some other things I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about cars. Yeah, I'm thinking about all this type of stuff that's been going on in terms of, you know, life. What are some other things I'm thinking about that's currently on my mind? Oh yeah, just about, I don't know, literally just about everything. In terms of, to me, a lot of stuff should be coming to an end. In terms of like, maybe school, enrolling in school, enrolling in this, that, and the third. Because in my mind and stuff like that, and the way I'm seeing stuff, like, there's a whole lot of changes, especially in my school, that we're doing, and I feel like, in a sense, you're trying to do a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, a lot of stuff is going to have to change. Because in my opinion, man, like I said, we're going to be in some trouble. Well, I mean, we're going to be in some trouble. We're going to be in some trouble. Like, in terms of having kids and stuff go back to school. In terms of remote learning, I know the people talking about the kids who need to wear masks. In my opinion, if I had kids and stuff like that and they got COVID or something happens or like a lung collapse, I couldn't forgive myself like out of that. In a sense, I couldn't because that happened on my watch. In the sense that, you know, being irresponsible, this, that, and the third, kids don't need to be in school. They can do remote learning. I'm about to get on out of here. See, this is why I can't stand this game in the sense. It's always just a sweat fest. And for whatever reason, it's just like skill-based matchmaking. To me, it's not incentivizing people to get better. That's an unpopular opinion thread because at what point do you realize skill-based matchmaking is for people to spend money? Like Call of Duty and 2K, for instance, they put stuff in there in a sense that incentivize people to spend money. Nothing more, nothing less to spend money. It really doesn't even matter anything. It's strictly for people to spend money. And I think the biggest thing now that my time is kind of spent up with working, this, that, and the third, a lot of people are gone from my job. I'm like one of the last people there. I'm gonna sit with my friends, so I'll probably hit them up. Cause he said the lady and stuff like that at my job was playing with his money. Or this and the third, and this wasn't working out, the communication thing. Like he was getting $500 a paycheck, but he worked longer than me. I couldn't do it. That's not why I only work 4 hours. I mean, I get like what? In a month, I can get between $600 to $700. It depends if I work an extra hour. Me, I'm not willing to work an extra hour. Maybe on one day, I might change it up, but yeah, I'm not about to do. I work at a shift where basically it's peak hours. They have zero cards. They have zero anything. And, again, I understand jobs, so they're trying to keep their costs low in terms of what they're doing. But I also realize a lot of stuff has to do with this, that, and the third. Like, in a way, when people talk about hair and stuff like that, I think hair is the most least important part of a workplace. As long as it's a certain stuff. But as soon as hair style, they have dreadlocks, this, that, and the third. I'm not going to ask somebody to cut their hair. I would want to work for that company. That's just my opinion. Because you got people in the organization that have horrible conduct. Horrible conduct. It don't have to be anything with sexual harassment. It is horrible conduct all the way around. Horrible conduct. That's why I kind of have to laugh, because a lot of stuff in the way it's so in a point where it's like it's not even really about anything. Like let's say for instance, if a store like if a store has been doing this and the third, they get sales, but the store has not won any type of stuff, any type of award from the company. We're just about maximizing profits. I think that's pretty bad. And if we're not getting any records, this, that, and the third, I kind of have a problem with that in a sense. I think conduct is more important than anything, and they don't. It could be just talking to employees. It could be talking to customers wrong. It's just stuff that's really don't make any sense. Um, got him. I won this big time. I know people talking about the thing that's kind of it's not making any sense and stuff like that is people talking about the deal or talking about Joe Biden. Foreign policy is a joke. I mean, this deal is nothing new. It's probably been in work since 2018 when the former president had that stuff. And again, fair and stuff like that. But it's been a culmination and stuff like that. I mean, the motto is that we don't work with terror groups, and yet the United States, in a sense, formed a thing. You can't back out of that deal. That I think is ridiculous. That's really been a reality in a place where people call home. It's no longer home. There's nowhere desirable for people to live now. People are trying to jump on, basically run away to escape their new reality in a way. But how do you sign over a country to a group? And that's my question. How do you sign a country over to a group? And then this, that, and the third comes of it. And then it's just like, wow. You're not even. You didn't even contact the other country for that? Who had the thing was in charge before, and now it's just it is what it is. That's just my old thoughts. I'm not racist. I'm not xenophobic. This, that, and the third. But in the matters, I feel like the United States should have never been government like the world police, governmental police, or try to administer stuff because our stuff is jacked up. And the other stuff, places got going on is jacked up as well. That's just my whole thoughts. But that doesn't really make that much sense. But again, I said this a long time in a stream ago, that, there was once a country, or it's a whole territory, it's called the Ottoman Empire, and you look at all the stuff, I forgot how many countries were made as a result of the Ottoman Empire being, destroyed. It was like World War One. That's why you got Syria, Jordan, Oman, and all the other countries as well. They were named something else. Wow. Little baby D. That's crazy. Again, I just don't know, man. I just hate aspects of the stuff that's just going on, and this don't make any sense. Like, we got people starving here, right here in the United States, and we're giving funding to people like $500 million to people, refugees. I have nothing against refugees, but at what point do we see that our actions and stuff like that cause, people lose their lives, people lose their limbs, and they can't even get benefits and stuff like that. They have issues, they have PTSD, they have all this type of stuff, survivor's guilt, all this type of stuff. They live with the fact that they're platoon, stuff, they get back home, they're like one of the last people. And all that went down the drain. But I seriously want to know, how do you sign over a country without the advice of another country? With the country before it was turned over, how do you do that? Either way, it was going to be a losing battle. And I'm not justifying anything like that. It was going to be a losing battle. Because, if anything, you can't defeat ideology. Just like Vietnam, in a sense, you can't defeat an ideology. You can kill this, that, and the third, try to get out the stuff. The stuff is bad, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's just, I guess you have to devote resources and then, like, changing the mindset, and then, like, there's a lot of stuff you have to unlearn, in a sense. I don't believe nobody's born evil, this, that, and the third, but, at the end of the day, it just comes down to information, this, that, and the third, propaganda, this, that, and the third, and it's, from there, it's crazy. The government is giving $500 million away to fund people to resettle and move back here. I'm not mad about that. I'm just like, the numbers, the stuff like that. I feel like refugees get status, but how are you going to process people? I'm still thinking about, there's people from, like, Dogo in the Caribbean and stuff like that who can't even get their own papers and stuff like that. And immigration stuff is no joke. And as difficult as that is, how are you going to process people? This, that, and the third. How are you going to house these people? How are you going to do all that? This immigration stuff like that is crazy, for one. And then citizenship tests. You got to do a whole lot of stuff. Like, I had a friend that was like, his dad was like, I don't know exactly the whole story, but he's German, but he's black. Like, his dad's a soldier, but I don't see how he didn't get citizenship or something like that. I don't know exactly all the ins and outs and ins, but yeah. He had to wait a long time to get his citizenship and stuff like that. I think he's working on cars and stuff like that. He joined the military, this, that, and the third. And, the military and stuff like that, you got to do all these basic, you have to do all these dives, base jumping, and he broke his leg. I think he's getting, like, what I know, I think he's getting, like, $300 a month. He got discharged. It was so bad that basically, I think his femur or something was gone, this, that, and the third. That was pretty bad. But he's fine, well, and okay, and hopefully the car stuff is still doing good. some other stuff that I'm thinking about is just I don't know. Not investing or nothing like that. I just think about in terms of like the future. Like even if, like let's say, something we don't see today that we should be looking at, we may not see it now, but it's going to affect the next 10, 15 years when you really think about all the stuff. Like businesses and stuff coming here. People are drawn to like driving the price up for food, rent, and stuff like that. It's gonna eventually. I saw a thing where it's like a scale how much money you need to get by in this state. My state's like $30,000. I don't necessarily believe that, because everything is going up, and there's no guarantee that stuff is going to stay the way it is. Like maybe a good apartment, 2-bedroom apartment or something like where my sister live at, it's like $900 a month. A 2-bedroom apartment. Other places you can't find that. So I like where I live, the state I live in, because it's affordable in a sense. And when you do the math of what you call it, $900 a month, that's what you call like $200 something dollars. I think it's like $225 a month, but not a month, a week. So that's how much you would basically like. That's basically how much money you have to make a week to live. Like if any of my since investments did pay off, I wouldn't. I try to build me a house or find me a house. That's the first thing. Get a few things taken care of. But literally try to secure housing. The next point. I guess in a sense, just setting up stuff in terms of will, this, that, and the third. And having provisions in my will, this, that, and the third. Third, I would say just taking care of a lot of stuff. What's some other components I think of about cars? Like again, I probably say I'll get me a truck. Like nothing flashy, stuff like that. I just get myself a truck and a Lexus or something like that. Something durable. And all of them smaller cars, like Lamborghini is small. It is really small. But that's cool. That's okay. And it is true, it can go like 0 to 60 in a few seconds, like maybe like a millisecond. That is true. I've seen that firsthand when I was in LA. I saw Ferraris. I saw a person that was like in a tour with. They said they saw a Bugatti. I don't deny it. They saw it because you see a whole lot of cars. You can see stuff on Sunset Boulevard, this, that, and the third, Melrose. You can see supercars everywhere, pretty much. Your McLaren. What? That's crazy. I think before long, I probably got like a few more minutes, maybe like 22 more minutes, and I'm gonna go and take a shower and call it a night. Or maybe watch something on Netflix and call it a night. Or maybe after this game, 'cause I really need to kind of get ready to go to get prepared, go to sleep. I know, but also let me touch on 2K. People said the overall rating system is bad. Yes, the overall rating system is bad because what are they basing it off of? Like, there's a few players that I can name that are actually not bad, who were not bad, deserved higher overall ratings. Gerald Green should definitely have been higher than a doggone 76 for a while. Even though he was a slasher, I thought he was like an 80. Gerald Green's card and what you call it, 2K13, bruh. Oh my god. That man was a 99 overall, man. I think more so with like sports nowadays, especially with the stats and stuff like that, stats don't really tell the full person's effect. Like Frank Ntilikina, not necessarily a good player, in my opinion. He had court vision, but you know his skills on the court. I mean, think about it. There's no way he should have went high in the draft as he did, but I feel like that international thing. That's what got him to where he was at. Now, Dennis Schroeder, I told somebody, Dennis Schroeder, or Dennis Schroeder, however you pronounce it, I don't think that he was a bad player in a sense. He can do a little bit of stuff. His defense is bad, but he's a utility player, nothing more. Dennis Schroeder on a team like LeBron at most, he's a 10-point per game player. Like, he's like a Rondo in a sense. He can offer a little bit. He's not necessarily the best or flashiest player, but again, in a system that works, like Atlanta, Dennis Schroeder was pretty good. I give him that. They had good coaching. I think Mike Budenholzer was like the coach. They had a system that formed around him and Kyle Korver. And Kyle, that's when Kyle Korver was still kind of good in a sense. And now he's like I think he's on the Nets, like being like a shooting coach, so Joe Harris can get a few pointers. That's a great pickup. That's a great pickup. Kyle Korver is a good six man, or was a good six man in a sense. He was a utility player, a player that can knock down shots, but again, not necessarily the most flashiest player, but he did his job. A lot of people can't say that. Like, if you're not shooting the ball, you're not shooting at a decent clip, this, that, and the third, it's going to be counterproductive to, like, try to do this and the third. Now, the person I personally think that got done wrong is, how can I put it there? I think it goes with Thon Maker and Taco. Both of them were highly recruited because of their what you call it, their size, not well, their size and ability to kind of work in the post and their height. But I feel like their skills on the court were kind of not worked. Yeah, I'll play another one. I'm gone. I don't know if Thon Maker's still even in the league. If we're being completely honest, nobody's talking about Thon Maker. Yeah, he's not in the league. That man is literally not in the league anymore. And they have his brother. Oh, both of them. Both him and his brother are literally not even on what you call it, any team. They're literally not on any team. I think sports, before you know it, like there be some people that you keep up with in terms of the league, and you find out they're not in the league anymore. I'm not saying they necessarily have to be most flashiest player, but they serve the purpose. I don't even know Malcolm Brogdon. Nobody talks about him. I know he was talking about Rookie of the Year. Does he play like a rookie? I mean, he's not the flashiest player. He's not a rookie anymore, but like his career is come to a standstill. It's still answering why I like the Pacers. I like the Pacers because they're a small market team. Nobody's talking about the Pacers. This is kind of why I give the Pacers their props. They consistently have been a fifth seed. You know, we moved on from Paul George, this, that, and the third. That's been a while. Paul George left like, what, 2016, 2017? Then he went to the, I knew that wasn't going to work. When you put Russell Westbrook and Melo. I just come to the conclusion that Paul George and stuff like that he's not bad. He don't necessarily have the skill set to put the team on his back like that. That's just my opinion. But what I mean by that is strictly, if you had to put him against, like, you know, they'd double, triple team him when he was getting like 40 points, next games and stuff like that, he would gradually fall off. There was not anything that he could personally do. And that's great defense. You do not have the ball like, for instance, Devin Booker. Devin Booker cannot score. Truly. I believe that he cannot score. And I'm going to explain to you why with that. Devin Booker is kind of catch and shoot, but again, shooting is kind of, it's really represented on what you can get. If someone's not setting you a screen or anything like that, you're not going to do anything. And then Devin Booker, the thing that got him during the series is that he was expecting way too many calls. People would literally press him, slap the ball out of his hand, and he would be waiting for a call. That's not any way to play. That's not any way to play basketball, in my opinion. To wait and look for a call. The call is not going to happen more often times than not. Or complain. I guess that's the name of the game. People say, what you call LeBron's first person to do it. I mean, Michael Jordan's the king of it, in a sense, but Michael Jordan was good. I feel like the biggest thing now in the league is people have to sell a call. People had to sell a call. Some people are just not going to get it. Like, for instance, I think Donovan Mitchell, in a sense, he's okay. Again, you can't be a one-man show doing all the scoring, all the stuff. Rudy Gobert, I don't think he's bad. He offers quality rim protection, but outside of that, he's not a scorer. He can get a double-double, stuff like that. It's not a flashy. He's a real big man. And the fact that he's 7'1", he can block shots, rim protection. He uses post moves in his game. But Jokic is the best center in the league right now, without a doubt. The Joker is the best. He is the best center out right now. Now, all the other people I can't say in terms of a few things. Like, for instance, Paul Millsap. He was okay, but Denver, they had to move away from him. I don't even know if Paul Millsap is on any team. There's a lot of people who were the number one person for a team, and then, things fell through. Like, people say Pascal Siakam, he was like the most improved player, this, that, and the third. Bismack Boyambo, I don't think he's necessarily, I feel like he's a good leader, more so than the actual thing. I think he's a good leader in the sense he's been with the team for a long time, but at the same time, he's not going to go out there and give you 11 points. He's like your motivator in a sense. He's just there for, I guess, to be scary. Just like Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins wasn't the best player in a sense. He got a ring. He was there to be intimidated. Just like P.J. Tucker. I don't think P.J. Tucker is a bad player. I just think he's an intimidator and a bruiser. He played dirty. But the one person I think who's really good in a sense, but again, you waste your years playing for teams that are bad. Is Corey Maggette. He was pretty good. He was good. He's a real slasher and real bruiser. I say that my favorite two bruisers, if we're being completely honest, in a sense, that kind of played dirty in a sense, I don't know. In the era of the 2000s, probably Corey Maggette and Steve Smith. Both of them put on shows. I'll put it like that. Both of them put on shows. Both of them had a bald head. Both of them had a vibrant personality, this, that, and the third. And both of them are kind of do color commentating, this, that, and the third. They're trying to analyze the game. But I think the best small forward, versatile, that didn't really do anything, wasted, I don't know. It really wasn't going to be anything that good. They were like 17 points a game. That's no small feat. Grant Hill, he was pretty decent. But I think the thing with sports is, you have a certain time period and time frame of your productivity, and then whether or not who the coach is, who the strength coach, this, that, and the third. I thought that's the big one. Because a lot of people's careers and stuff are not meant to last. Let's think about, TJ Ford, whatever his name is. He had like a back injury and stuff like that, and if he had another back injury, he would most definitely been paralyzed. I feel bad for that man's career, but he did the right thing. And that's another one. No, you can't trust all these doctors telling you when you know your own body. What? Bro, there is no way that dude is still alive. So I can drive a car all the way up there and not die. Unreal. But something happened like that and real like that car is going to shatter to a million pieces. The G-force alone you'll be crushed. In internal organs, that makes no sense. I'm still thinking about in terms of talking about space exploration. Some of these planets and stuff we would never be able. It's not humanly possible. Just like just like all the ocean, we can't explore all the ocean because we would basically, effectively be crushed. We'll be crushed in a sense because all the stuff, the pressure in there is so tight. We can get down a little bit, but like as far as going down to the Mariana Trench and all that stuff, people have gone down there. Like James Cameron, he did that. But I know they're trying to make another Avatar. Will I go see it? Probably not. To me, if a film can't get what needs to be done in an hour, hell, even 2 hours and a half, you can call it wraps. As long as it keeps it interesting. But I like the movie to be over an hour 30, hour 45. And with all the side conversation, slapstick comedy, that adds, that's not value. I know my professor was talking about this, that, and the third, and when it comes to what do we do to make time go past? We saw what was at the movies every week. Go to the movies. She said, "What do you think is going to change about the movies?" I think that in a way, movies are going to be the movies. You pay there for the atmosphere. You pay for the experience. You pay for the reclined seats. You pay for this and the third. Wow, I got him. I hope you guys enjoy the stream, man. I'm out.